Hey everyone, the Orlando golfer here. We are at PXG Orlando, ready to do a full bag club fitting. Let's go inside and check it out.
Hey, welcome to PXG.
All right, we've made it inside. I'm here with Dan, our master fitter from PXG. Dan, where are you from?
From Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. Okay, and what has you in Orlando?
The weather, man.
Oh yeah, that's the best golfing weather around, right?
That's right.
All right, you ready to get into the fitting?
Let's do it. All right, Hayden. So want to see about half a dozen swings with your 7 there. Get a little idea of not only distances, but trajectory. If there's a miss you're fighting now, what that overall dispersion looks like, so we can try to pick out if there's any areas of improvement that you might have for the irons. Obviously, pretty consistent player. Do you think you have a common miss on the face on an iron? Is it going to be more heely, more toey?
Probably more on the heel.
Okay. Awesome. In terms of finding the optimal ball flight for you, you mentioned that you think at times maybe these irons are a little spinny. So if I pick out one of your best shots of the day, landed 3 inches off the line, that little baby cut you were talking about, and we have this fun tool on TrackMan we can look at called Optimizer. The reason I like this tool, Hayden, is it's not just looking at how fast do you swing the club and spitting out some random data, but it's looking at a few different aspects of your swing specifically. So these are very Hayden specific numbers. Now you're going to see here that your launch angle is kind of high, your spin is kind of high, and if we were on grass instead of a mat, the backspin would actually be even a little bit higher than what we're getting here. Due to the trajectory you're getting, you are leaving a little bit of distance on the table, my friend, because at 89 miles per hour, which is well above average speed, and a good high smash factor on that shot of 132 for a 7, we could be getting a little more distance out of that if we were launching at 18 degrees, spin rates that are more in the 6,000s, and here maybe getting up to 7 outside. So you strike a great ball. If we can bring that height down a little bit, get even more out of it. Obviously, gaining distance never hurts you if you can take an 8 iron from where you used to pull a 7. Maybe slightly lighter could be better. Maybe you want to stay heavy. We're going to try a couple different weights and figure that out for you. So let me go bring a few of the heads and shafts over, and we'll dive into the technology of it. We have these 3 heads here, our ST, which is going to be kind of like that muscle back blade. We don't have any polymer on the inside of that club, but we still have that nice adjustable weighting. Got the milled face design, milled back, so beautiful look. This is going to be for your best golfers out there who are looking for the most workability. The reason I think you are going to love the 0317T here, the tour head, is because we do get quite a bit more forgiveness than those 2 clubs without giving up a lot in terms of workability. And this has a polymer on the inside called S-Core, stands for stability core. Now what that core material does for you is super consistent spin rates and carry distances. So you talked about how you think inconsistent carry yardage is maybe where you're giving up some performance, and that's where that head is really going to shine. With initially, I'd like to start you in the tee more similar to what you have. All right, so let's throw that on the shaft, start taking a few swings here.
Perfect. All right, let's do it.
Whenever you're ready, my friend, we're going to take about 4 swings or so on this one, and we'll try a couple different combinations as we go.
Okay. No, that was hit on the. That one was hit well, but it was hit on the toe. That's okay. Still awesome. Wow.
Yeah, so let's take a peek at some of this. Come on over, Hayden. Seeing really good numbers here. So ball speed, you're averaging 115 on yours, with those best 2 being closer to 118. Getting 121 off the club here. Carry is up to 167. And notice the trajectory is still on the higher side. The launch angle itself really didn't change. We're just shy of 19 degrees. Got that backspin down 400 RPMs, which is great. And the landing angle is actually just as steep, if not a little steeper. So no trouble holding the green, but getting a little more ball speed out of it. One of the reasons I wanted to try 1/4 inch shorter is you're a little heely with yours. Made it just a hair shorter, a lot closer to center on average. Even your best shots on yours still a little bit off the heel. So I like what I'm seeing with regards to the length here.
I felt right away that it might be a little bit shorter, but I couldn't tell for sure. I mean, you said that was a 1/4 inch?
Quarter inch, yep.
Wow. I'm gonna show y'all what this looks like. Club face wise and where I was hitting with my iron. The 1/4 inch does that. Impressive.
That's the beauty of fitting. Yeah, not enough people give it credit, or maybe they're a little too intimidated to come in and go through the process. But we fit a lot more high handicap golfers in here than college players like yourself. And super, super important, because while we can't fix every miss through the club, we can greatly, greatly improve your average miss, and then you're going to get even more out of your good strikes as well.
Give me one tip for somebody new to fitting or somebody that's never done a fitting before.
Yeah, the tip I would give is just come in, be very open, honest with your fitter about your game, your tendencies, because you got to keep in mind we're just here to help you. We're not here to judge your game or go talk behind the scenes about, check out this bad swing I saw today. You're not
going to mention that shank I had earlier?
I don't know what that word.
We cut that, by the way.
I don't know what that word means. No, what we want to do is everyone who comes in the doors, we want to make you a better player. We want to make you enjoy the game more. So when you come in, just tell us what you're seeing on the course so that we can genuinely help you.
All right, so tell me what we got here.
Yeah, so we went a little bit lighter in the shaft. This is 120 grams instead of 130. As far as stiffness, it'll play very similar, because this is a stiff C taper versus an extra stiff KBS tour.
Got it. Okay, cool. Hit a little heavy that time, just like the first one.
That's all good. Usually the first swing on a new combination is always the outlier.
So what you're saying is, don't worry about your first swings.
That's right.
So we get two swings on the golf course, right? Is that how it goes?
If your buddies are nice, they'll give you a breakfast ball there.
Oh, okay. I don't have good friends, I guess.
Going back up in weight just a touch in between those two, this is going to be a 125.
That's as good as I can hit one, and it's out right again.
Mm-hmm. And that's not something we were seeing on that first combination, right? You were dead straight.
Mm-hmm.
Even the slightly chunked one, straight. The one that misread the spin, dead straight. So let's go back to that shaft and play around with club a little bit more. Let me do this though, Hayden. So got to play around with kind of our PXG technology here. So we're the only brand where during a fitting, aside from just changing shafts, I can actually play with swing weight by adjusting the weight of the head.
Okay.
So I got 3 good ones from you on that combination, both on the first time around and when we revisited. So really liking this head and shaft combo for you.
Yep.
Now we just want to hone in on, does making the head a little lighter, a little heavier increase the feel and the consistency for you as a golfer?
Okay. One thing to think about when you come in, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Take time, get some water. Because you're not like in a fitting, it's not like you're playing on the course, and the fact that you're just kind of beating balls over and over and over again. Like, you don't want to be wore out before you get to the big stuff. So take a break.
Take a break, take a breather. If you're doing a full bag fitting, the swings are spread over 2 hours instead of 4 hours. So we definitely want to make sure we keep you fresh, keep you going.
Got it. Okay.
In terms of swing weight. So I tried a little bit heavier here, trying to see if we can straighten out some of those right misses for you.
So this weight right here, we took out and put a heavier one in here to kind of not match, but get a little bit closer to what I had been swinging that used to, but possibly to close the club face down a little bit more, correct?
Yeah, a lot of players are going to feel like if they don't do something in their swing, when that club gets a little heavier, it's going to be late and open. So sometimes it forces us to get that face a little more shut with a little bit extra weight.
Cool. Good.
It's nice. Another good stock swing. Okay, so now let's have fun with it. See if you can work it the other direction. There's the one. 170 carry. Still going to stop really well even with the draw because of the height and the descent angle into the green there. Love that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So one thing I heard when I was getting fit in college is take it like a normal shot on the course. So for me, I always come behind the ball, kind of visualize my line, pick out a spot behind it.
And that goes hand in hand with what you were just saying, Hayden, is I don't need a player to come in and take 120 swings today. What I need them to do is when I hand you a combination, just give me 3 or 4 intentional swings with a little bit of thought behind it and some, normal pace between shots versus feeling rushed. And then we'll find the right thing faster because we're getting good golf swings rather than just banging a bucket of balls. That's hard when the ball rolls straight back to you, not to just hit it again right afterwards.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this one, kind of picked out my target from behind. I kind of want to hit exactly what you're looking at on the screen right there. Just a little cut. I want to start a little further left. That way it cuts back into the line. I think I just did it. Look at there.
Yeah.
A little further right, but
started left of the line, had that little cut to it. It's an awesome swing.
All right, so we just finished the iron fitting, and tell us what we got right here.
All right, man. So since you're a stick, we got you in these 0317 Ts, our core heads with that stability core polymer. So for you, what we were seeing on that is super, super consistent carry yardage, right? That stability core giving you consistent spin, consistent distances. We got you 2 degrees flat so that you got the cleanest turf interaction and kind of prevent those hard lefts that you're trying to stay away from. And then we found that adding a couple extra grams to the head was actually giving you an even tighter grip than where you started out with this, which is phenomenal. And that's why I love our custom weighting in those irons. You're in the KBS Tour 130 gram extra stiff here. Fairly similar to your old iron shaft. So you've been fit before. We found that the similar weight was working great. But man, that S-Core and custom weighting is what was crushing it for you.
Cool. Ready to put these things on the course. Okay, so we're just going to start with hitting my own driver, kind of getting warmed up with the driver here. We'll see what this new Black Ops technology can do.
Not leaving a lot on the table there. 148 smash factor.
Mm-hmm.
We got 273 carry, 297 total. Great spin rate.
But for me, I'm looking to hit fairways.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, I hit this far. Yes, I hit this good. Everybody knows I can hit this far. But tournament-wise and play-wise, I want to be in the fairway and whatever that looks like. So
sounds great.
Let's see. That was okay, but y'all know it's a pretty far right normally.
I think in 18 holes, do you usually see one of those, or very rare to see that left ball for you?
That left isn't typical unless I'm really trying to get over on it.
Okay. Yeah,
and it is normally pretty high.
You're usually planning for the cut, so if it cuts a little too much, you're more okay with that. If you're aimed left and it goes left, you're in trouble.
Normally I'm aiming basically left center.
Okay.
Even left rough sometimes just to guarantee it. Okay.
Now, I would tell you right off the bat that you got to be fairly close on your setup here. Couple reasons I say that. So 148 is the average smash factor. Part of that is you're a good golfer, my friend. So you're making good, solid, close to center contact. And also the face-to-path relationship in your swing is averaging less than half a degree. So you're getting every last drop of ball speed you can out of that style impact. However, like you said, dispersion's a premium, fairways are premium, especially if you decide to play in a tournament of some kind. And so what I'm noticing is even though your distance is phenomenal, you got a little bit of that left and right going on right now.
Call that the Army.
Yeah.
Left, right, left,
a little
right.
bit of Army golf. So I think for you, if I can match the distance you're getting now with similar trajectories, similar spin rates, and see that dispersion tighten up, that would be a huge win.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of maximizing your distance with your club head speed right now, not leaving a whole heck of a lot on the table. In terms of what's optimal, you can see we're kind of hitting optimal launch angles, spin rates, heights, ball speed. You did get 162, 163 on 2 of those 5 shots. So definitely hitting that at times. We're never going to hit our max every single time. So really, if you're leaving one area of opportunity up here, it's that dispersion. Now, we can talk about the new Black Ops head a little bit and why it might help you out with that.
So out of those 5 shots, I hit 1 fairway.
A couple of key features technology-wise to the Black Ops is we found a new face material. It's our AMF face, and what that allows us to do is go a little bit thinner and allows us to have what we call variable face thickness. So what that's going to do for us is when you hit a little bit off center, they're able to design or engineer the face to maintain ball speed better on those off-center strikes, but also direction, kind of like the trampoline effect we were talking about with the irons. And that's where Black Ops, I believe, is really going to shine, and hopefully we're going to see that for you today. When tested against other drivers in the industry, this actually came out on top in terms of overall dispersion, size of the groupings. So
cool.
Might have to tinker a little bit with some different shafts and weighting to find that combination for you, just like the irons, but we're going to get there. And another thing I'm noticing on your driver swing there is, like a lot of people, it's a longer club. We stand a little further away from it. Standard lie angle on the Black Ops driver here, for example, would be 60 degrees. You're coming in at 47. So definitely have that club a little bit toe up at the moment of impact. And while you might be swinging for that little bit of cut, we had 2 left misses in there. So competitive player like yourself, if we can take you down to a one-way miss instead of a two-way miss, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to try this on some flatter settings and see if it helps take away that left side. We might still lose it right every once in a while, but not lose it to both sides.
Got it. And this is called AMF technology, right on the face.
Yep, that's
so
correct.
For y'all that don't know, I actually ended up winning a contest on Mr. Parsons' personal Instagram page. When the Black Ops was first released, he asked, decipher the code, what is AMF? So my guess, and this is what Mr. Parsons liked, is anti-mulligan feature. He liked it enough, so I'm actually was able to get one of these Black Ops drivers. So I'll be taking one of these guys home with me. Maybe not today, but we're going to get fitted for it today, and we'll get it built up. And hopefully we can feature it here for you guys in the future. Oh, this looks really good.
We got 8 degrees here, just trying to maintain some of that launch and spin that you're getting on your current driver, but trying to see if we can tighten up that dispersion.
Let me see. I saw him kind of messing with these.
Yeah, so that's
these are going to be our
best
weight.
part about fitting the PXG drivers, Hayden, is we got that adjustable weighting system that's going to be the most customizable on the market. And in our recent drivers, we've done a great job of pushing that weight to the extreme perimeters of the club, which is why it's going to maintain that forgiveness on those off-center strikes. Standard setup here would be a 12.5 in the back and 2.5 grams in the front. Because you're a high-speed guy and I want to keep your spin low, went a little bit heavier. We got 5 grams in the heel and toe in those front settings, 10 grams in the back to maintain some forgiveness.
Got it. Okay. And this is a blue Ventus X-Flex.
Yep, trying to maintain kind of that similar launch to what you have, but good stability in the shaft.
Got it. That's good.
There's your stock swing as well. That little butter cut down the middle, 297. Your average distance is only down 4 yards with not quite as clean a contact, but you're averaging 20 feet off the line. And right now, your shots in this grouping are averaging 19 feet apart, and on yours, they were 104 feet apart from one shot to the next. So
just I'd love to see that. Like the orange is the Black Ops there, the white is my gamer, what I've been playing. So I like the orange.
Yeah, let's take that every time.
Let's make a couple adjustments and see if we can't get that yardage back up there.
Now you just need to share some of that distance with the rest of us.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. Let's see. I'll give you my secret. Hit range balls till your hands fall off. Cool. So like we said earlier in the iron fitting, we're gonna try a couple different things. One thing might not work. Something might work better.
Yeah.
Just trying out kind of the different options we have. And we said we try something different, realize that's not the one, and we'll go look at something different.
That's right. Let me have you take another one of those quick breaks.
Hydrate. Okay. So this is a Fujikura, same manufacturer, just a little bit different, and it's already it's a little bit longer. So he's asked me to grip down just a little bit on it, just to see if we can't get it more closer to the center of the face. Felt better. Wow. Would not expect that.
No? All right.
I'd say 2 swings, and I think we're done on that
Hayden,
one.
When I hear things like felt good and the result is not good, it tells me probably not the right shaft for you, my friend. yards out of it. Be right at your 300, but down the middle every time. All right, so
Sounds good.
let's take a quick break, and then you want to try some Black Ops fairway woods?
Yeah, sounds good. All right, Dan, we just finished up the driver fitting here. Tell me what we got. This thing was awesome. Tell me what we got here.
All right, Hayden, so we got you in the Black Ops head here. We do have the Black Ops Tour option available as well, but what I'm really excited about with these drivers, with that new AMF advanced material face, you're going to get that higher launch, lower spin tendency, and this is one of the first times you've been able to get an 8-degree driver in that more forgiving, tighter dispersion head.
Cool.
So for you, trying to avoid that left miss, we took advantage of the ability to flatten this out 3 degrees, so we're playing that Ventus Blue 6X for kind of that mid-launch and nice mid to low spin. Key thing we saw against that Callaway is, man, you're a long ball striker. No matter what I give you, you're going to get that distance, but that dispersion cut about a quarter of the way tighter. So
yeah,
getting that way tighter
getting more
gripping
fairways
right down the middle, playing that power cut you like, and we're kind of eliminating that left with the flatter lie here.
Yeah. Hey, if I'm hitting more fairways, that's what we're talking about.
That's right.
This thing is sweet. And this is the PXG Black Ops 0311.
That's right.
Cool. I actually won one of these, and I'll be putting this on the course here in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be awesome. We're going to definitely hit some more fairways. I got some big tournaments coming up, so hopefully we can shoot some low scores with this new AMF technology.
Yeah, and what was that you thought AMF stood for again?
Anti-mulligan feature. I mean, hopefully that works, right?
Yes, sir.
So we're moving on to the 3-wood now.
All right, Hayden, so what I want to do is let's have you swing a couple shots with your gamer here for me so we can get a baseline and then find something that's outperforming it for you.
Let's do it.
Seeing a little bit more into out tendency here than that fade you're playing on the driver. Do you feel like you see this club draw more than the driver you have now?
For sure.
Okay.
Where I even think that I'd be hitting my standard stock shot with it, and it's turning over.
Okay.
I think it could just be from the being an old club.
Yep. And then got a stiff shaft here, and as we saw in driver, probably need an X in your hands. Yeah, it's interesting where your path was on those. All right, let me grab some stuff.
Cool. Okay, so what we have here.
All right, Hayden, so you were hitting the Ventus Blue 6X really well in driver. So I want to go straight to that same shaft, but a little heavier in the fairway wood since it's shorter.
Cool.
Or try the Black Ops here as well.
Okay.
Starting out fairly similar weighting and flat as well. And then depending on how you hit it, maybe we'll try popping a little weight out of that head.
Cool. So basically the same shaft we had in the driver earlier because that worked well. And then new Black Ops 0311.
Correct. Yep.
Awesome.
Then,
looks great.
Yeah, getting that lie angle flat because got a little bit of a two-way miss going on with your fairway wood right now. And just like driver, if we can eliminate one side for you, that's going to be great.
Cool. Let's hit a couple of these.
Really nice. So we stayed away from that extreme left here, which I like. It's a good start. Let's try making a couple changes.
Cool. Sometimes we don't get on the first try. Actually, I would say most of the time you don't get on the first try.
That's right.
That's why it's important to come in for a fitting. Cool. So we just changed some weights around. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. So we're trying to take a little bit of weight out of the heel. You got a little bit of a heel strike tendency right now. And sometimes when there's too much weight there, that's what you feel is the sweet spot. So trying to see if we can get those impacts a little further out towards the toe for you.
Cool. That felt nice.
Yes, sir. Let's try one more there. So far, ball speeds are a little more consistent on this setup, which I like.
Oh, yeah. Like that a lot.
Yeah, so check this out, Hayden. Even with two of them that maybe we caught a little bit heavy at impact, dispersion got way better there. Here's our impact location. So still missing a little bit on the heel side, but you can see that orange there, so consistent strike location.
Yep.
Working its way in from what the last setup was as well. So we're trying to move a little bit more weight front. I want to see that launch come down, spin come down just a little bit. So let's keep that nice centered, tiny cut dispersion that you got going on, but try to get that launch down if we can.
Cool. Don't look at these orange. I didn't do these. Dan did them, not me.
That's right. I'm very familiar with that shot shape.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget. Hydrate. Stay hydrated. Cool.
All right, my friend. So we kind of kept a pretty similar setup to that last one. Shifted a little more weight to the front of the head to try to bring that launch angle spin rate down a little bit. Add a touch of ball speed for you if we can.
Cool.
Definitely a more piercing flight, one of your longer ones there. What I love on that is whether you felt it, that was a little bit low on the face.
Yep.
So not quite the cleanest strike you've had and still one of your best results.
Yeah. Okay. Trying to kill it.
This is what always happens, right? Hit 2 of your longest of the day, then you go after it a little bit more.
I like that because it wasn't hit center club face. I can tell you that right now without looking at it. Ooh, that felt good.
It's about as straight as you can hit a ball.
I like that. Ooh, Black Ops 3 wood. Let's check the numbers. All right, Dan, tell me what we got.
All right, my friend. So looking at those last couple groups, each change has had a positive effect for you. So we started with this blue group. You can see a little bit scattered, shifted a little more weight towards the toe, and then we got that nice tight dispersion we're looking at in the red here. From there, what we tried to do, shift a little bit more weight to the front of the head. We got our green grouping here, which is still nice and straight overall. But we did see a lower launch and an extra 3 or 4 yards on top of that red group on average. Even with a couple of these missing a little low on the face, which is always going to cost you some yardage. Definitely seeing those good ones go a bit farther with that lower launch angle, which I love because you got plenty of speed. You have no problem getting that ball up in the air. What I love the most here is orange grouping, Hayden. I took out a couple of outliers, but this is kind of your current fairway wood, and you can see what happens when you need to be in a stiffer shaft and you're in that more flexible one. Your good ones are definitely going to go far. You're going to feel phenomenal, but the variety is just not going to be worth it. You could take all 3 groups on the Black Ops, combine them, and we're still looking at a smaller, tighter dispersion than what you're getting on the current fairway wood.
Yeah.
Get it really dialed in, and that's when you're going to see those nice centered shots. Even good miss hits here, which you're just missing right center.
Let's say those are, I said, wow, that's a good miss. Like, I knew I hit that, didn't hit it well, and it came out nice. So
yeah, so think great combination of shaft choice and head setup for you. As that high speed guy, just trying to get that weight down in front a little bit to get that more piercing flight, extra couple yards, and always trying to get you that adjustment to get the impact center of face.
Cool. Okay, so we just finished up the 3-wood fitting here. It looks like we're back in the Black Ops. It was super sweet, just like the driver, and we kind of stuck with the same shaft in the same sense, right?
Yes, sir. Similar golfer, similar loading pattern, similar release, right? We're going a little heavier because the club is shorter. Try to get you around that same swing weight that we're looking for.
Cool.
And again, my favorite feature for you is the tighter dispersion off that Black Ops head with the AMF face. Flatter lie angle is eliminating that left side for you, which is great.
Sweet. As long as I can hit some fairways and hit some greens with it, we'll be good.
That's right. Let's
Cool.
do hybrids.
So let's go into hybrids. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, Hayden. So as always, let's hit a couple with yours, get a little baseline going before we try some Black Ops hybrids.
Cool. This thing is old. I've had this since high school as well, just like my 3-wood. So it's gonna be nice to get into something new with some new technology in it. It's a couple.
You use it pretty equally off the tee and off the ground, or more one way than the other?
Probably more off the tee than anything. I don't use it much. I mean, I like it off the ground, but I just don't use it much.
Those were a pretty good sample. Give me a couple off the tee then.
Cool.
All right, Hayden. So it looks like you're hitting it pretty high. You're actually in a 21-degree hybrid here. And
Okay.
based on the distances you're used to getting out of a 4-iron, we need to amp this up a little bit.
Okay.
So
Kind of gap it a little bit better, huh?
Yeah, got to focus on that gapping. And when it comes to hybrids, I genuinely don't care whether it's a 3 or 4. I care about the degrees aloft, right?
Cool.
So we're going to put a 19 in your hands to start and see what kind of trajectory we can get out of it.
Cool. Let's do it. This is your reminder. Hydrate. We got the hybrid in my hands. This is the new Black Ops hybrid.
All right, my friend. So like I said, you're hitting yours well. It's just going a little high, costing you a little bit of yardage and coming up very similar to your 4-iron. We need more space in that gapping, right? So we're starting you out in an 80-gram extra stiff riptide shaft here. I'm keeping the length the same as what you have, but this is actually playing closer to 18 degrees aloft than 21 for you.
Cool.
So let's give it a shot.
Let's do it. So we expect this to go a little bit further, a little more penetrating, so it's not as much spinning, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's see it. Ooh, that felt good. It's about where I aimed, but
There you go, 225 carry. That's more what we're talking about.
might fell off. All right, so we like the yardage, got the yardage up while we're looking to a kind of a gapping area, but missing out to the right, we think could be a little different shaft that might be a little more beneficial, right?
Yeah, so we want to rule out shaft before we start messing around with that head and waiting too much. So let's try a couple other shaft options.
Cool. All right, so we got a little bit lighter shaft, maybe?
It's actually a little bit heavier.
Oh, okay.
So you're probably going to feel a more balanced sensation here versus that handle heavy sensation.
Cool.
This is by KBS, same brand that was making that iron shaft.
Yeah.
And kind of similar profile here. So it's worked well for players swinging that iron shaft.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, I like that.
Love that. That was actually struck pretty far in the heel.
Oh, wow. And it went.
219 in the air.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. 220 is what I'm looking for. I went 219 and it was hit. Here. We'll take it. Let's try some more. Ooh, that was pretty good.
Cook that one with a bit of a draw, 232 carry.
Which is wow. Okay.
About as good as you can hit one there. Smash factor just about maxed out on that hybrid at 146.
But I would expect that I have a draw with this thing. If I need to hit a back left pin, that's what I'm kind of expecting, a little jump there.
And that average is still around 225.
Okay, I hit one thin. Still in the fairway. I take that off the tee any day.
Didn't miss, carried almost 200, still went 230.
Taking the fair, I'll take that as long as it's in the fairway. Can I hit one off the tee real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just check it off the tee, because this is where the thing hopefully will be shining for me. I like it off the ground. I do like hitting off the ground, but
Yeah, you're getting a 202 carry out of your hybrid up to a 225 average.
wow. Okay. That's good as you can hit one.
As we see for most players, a couple extra yards off the tee, change that attack angle a little bit, 231 carry there. It's going to be awesome as your fairway finder on those shorter, tighter holes.
That's what I'm looking for. I like that little fade. It's exactly what I was trying to play right there. I like it. Try to turn one over, see what this thing looks like. Oh, yeah.
You tell the shaft's feeling better. You're able to work the shots to your liking.
Yep. This is it. Take my money. Take my money. All right, so tell me what we got, though. Tell me what we got.
Yes, sir. So we're looking at the KBS prototype. It's a 95-gram extra stiff shaft. Again, not surprising. You're in a really heavy setup in the irons, but it works great for you. It's a little bit heavier, more evenly weighted shaft here. You're able to control and work those shots. And then by going to that 2 hybrid that's actually bumped up a little bit rather than kind of a low lofted 3.5, 4 hybrid that you're in, getting that more penetrating flight, getting those extra 22 yards of carry, gapping much better with the irons and fairway for you.
Cool. This might be my favorite so far. That's awesome. Sweet. Looking at my wedges here, kind of what I have set up. I'm not a big fan of my wedges right now. We're going to try to get something real nice. And what we're talking about is my 58 degree is something I use mainly out of the sand, or if I need to hit really high flop shot or something. I don't even use it much in the fairways. Like if I'm hitting, I prefer the 54 for that, and then 54 around the greens too. So hopefully you can get me set up in something similar.
Yeah, no problem. Let's do it. So what we're gonna hit for you is the Sugar Daddy 2 milled wedges.
Okay.
Honestly, since coming over to PXG, they're my absolute favorite thing that we do.
Okay.
Softest wedge you're ever gonna hit, more spin than you can get on the market. And what that really does for me is my carry yardages compared to my former forged wedges are in about a 50% tighter window.
Cool.
So what I mean by that is short to long on a shot that felt like a good swing, good ball strike. Used to have maybe a 12-yard window there where
could go long, could go short. Okay.
Clubs, right? I want to know exactly how far it's going to carry. When I switched to those Sugar Daddies, instead of a 12 to 15-yard window, went down more to like a 6 to 8-yard window. So really confident in the distances, grab the right club every time.
Cool. And so for the wedges, we normally stick with the same shaft, that kind of 130 that we had in the irons, right? And so you'll just grab that with the wedge heads?
In your case, absolutely. Hey,
cool.
Sometimes if we get a guy who's in a lighter iron shaft, like let's say a 70-gram graphite, might put something a little bit heavier, a little stiffer in his wedges.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So tell me what we got, Dan.
All right, my friend. So want to see you swing both. You're a good player. Definitely want to make sure we get those wedges dialed in. But in our Sugar Daddy 2 lineup here, the milled wedges, this is going to be our C grind, our 10-degree bounce. Very, very versatile sole design to this.
Cool.
So if you like to kind of open that face, play it square, play it open, you said you use mostly your 54-degree around the green. I think this is a great place to start. And you're not overly steep with those attack angles. So let's give it a shot.
Cool. If you know me, this is where I struggle. If I could hit a green within 120 yards, I'd be on tour. And, making putts. All right, so one thing I noticed right away, it's got a full toe, right? What is it, the grind, the toe grind?
Yep, so we go with those full face grooves.
Full
Main
face
reason
grooves.
for that, my friend, is, hey, anytime you play that shot a little bit more open face, instead of hitting the center of the club, you're going to hit it a little higher, a little toeier. We still want you to get spin on that versus coming out real flat, not being able to get that ball to check.
So just going to play like a normal stock, like little 75% swing on it?
Yeah.
Cool.
That normal.
Wow, okay. I like that. So I work wedges big time. Well, let's see, let's put that to the test. I like this.
As more of a draw player myself, I definitely have no trouble getting him to go right to left. So let's see you do one the other way.
Okay. Ooh, and the distance is up. So let me give you a little context. That carried 80 yards. When I normally hit that high cut shot with my current irons, it's like wedges. It's like 60 yards, which is a great shot if it's a back right 60, and it was not even hit center of the club face. Wow. Okay. Sweet. These feel good, but he's going to put me in something different. Let's see. What you got?
All right, my friend. So that was our C grind. We're going to put you in our BP for Mr. Bob Parsons.
Okay.
BP grind. What we're looking for here is you're going to be able to tell pretty quickly your distance consistency is going to get better in one versus the other here.
Okay.
So looking to see kind of how you interact with that turf, what that bounce is doing for you, cleaning up that gapping.
Cool. Let's do it. All right, so we got the BP, Mr. Bob Parsons. This grind's for you. See, that one felt great, but the result wasn't great. Like I'm hitting almost all these thin.
Yep, definitely better contact, higher smash factor on the lower bounce option. That's why I started you there, Hayden. You're not extremely steep with those attack angles. You're actually compressing the ball better on the C grind.
Cool.
Getting better distances out of it and more consistency as well.
Cool.
Not to mention it feels a little better too.
Sorry, Mr. Parsons, but the C grind is. That's just for me though, right? So this is all
Absolutely.
Orlando golfer statistics. Yeah.
Right, Hayden's a little better than your average player out there, right? So what works for him is not going to work the same for me, not going to work the same for Mr. Parsons, not going to work the same for the next golfer. So
Cool.
always about fitting the individual to the best result for him.
Cool. Perfect. All right, so the real test here with the C grind. Can we keep it up? That's cool.
Yeah, my wife she played soccer through the end of high school. She's a better soccer player than I ever was. But in middle school when I played, in practices and stuff, I'd sit there juggling, so I can actually juggle the ball better than her.
There you go. See, like I used to be able to go in between the legs. Feels pretty good. All right, Dan. So we just finished the wedge fitting here. We're in the C grind here. This thing, the sugar, was it Sugar Daddy?
Sugar Daddy 2.
Sugar Daddy 2. This thing is awesome. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think I was most apprehensive about the wedges, and these things are awesome.
Yeah, so now that I fit you and figured out what's best for you, I can tell you I play the C grind as well.
Okay.
Literally, my 54 degree is my absolute favorite club in my bag. Just super dialed in on the distances. What I've noticed since switching over to these milled wedges is I get a little more bite around the greens as well. So I can be a little bit more aggressive with the up and down game going after the target because I'm not worried that I'm going to get too much release and end up past the hole with that long putt.
Yeah, I would say it's a little different in here because you're hitting off turf and you're mainly taking those full swings. But I'm very interested to get these things out on the course and hit those kind of around the green shots. I bet you they're pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The only complaint I've ever seen in over 2 years of fitting these is, man, they spin more than my previous wedge, and it took a little while to get used to, but I absolutely love it.
Hey, we like it. All right, cool. So we're gonna head on to the putter fitting.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Dan, we are here in the putting lab here at PXG Orlando. I've never had a putter fitting. Really excited. So tell me, where do we begin?
Yeah, my favorite part of the process, actually. So we were taking a look at your gamer there, which we're going to talk through a little bit more. But I always love to start out just by bringing the player over to the beautiful putter wall here. Look at some of the different heads, and we're going to pick out 2 or 3 that you kind of like the visual of. Whether you're a blade or a mallet guy, that's kind of up to you. I always like to throw something else into the mix just to make sure you try a few different things. So come on over, take a look at some of the Battle Ready 2 putters here.
All right. Well, I'm not a blade guy, so I'm assuming that means you're going to make me hit a blade.
At least one, yeah. We're going to try it out.
We'll do this one with one and done, the bat attack, and the closer.
Perfect.
The blade. I'm scared about this one.
Yeah, so we're not here to try to force you into anything that doesn't work for you or that you don't like. First and foremost with the putter, it's got to look good to your eye when you set up over it. But we do notice sometimes that the one that might grab your eye up here when you actually go to address it doesn't always work for you visually. Okay. And so it's good to try a couple different shapes, not just alignment aids like the line versus more of the track visual here, but also different head shapes as well. So I like the one and done and the bat attack because you got one that's a little more rounded, one that's a bit more angular there. And we might find that one works a little bit better with your eye. Cool. And we'll talk through hosel types and determining length and toe hang and all that kind of stuff for you.
Awesome, let's get into it.
All right, Hayden. So while I was setting up the TrackMan for you for the putter fitting here, my friends, a couple of things we want to keep in mind. So TrackMan is an amazing tool for helping us pick the right putter for you. It's also used a lot of times as a practice aid. So what I want you to try your best to do for me today is we're going to take your natural stroke on everything. We're going to find the putter that works best with your game. Some of the tools on here are going to be tempting to kind of see what you're doing and maybe correct that stroke a little bit. Keep doing that same Hayden putting stroke for me. But just to give you a visual here. So one of the nice tools is we get a little video here where that blue line is going to be the path of your putting stroke. The red line is going to be the face angle at the point of impact. And the white line is the imaginary line on the ground that we're trying to roll that putt down in order to make this straight 10-footer here. So if I roll this video real quick, swung a little bit out to in, so you got that blue line going out to the left-hand side. Face was open, so started a little bit of a push. And ideally, what we're going to hopefully find in that putter fit for you is a combination that gets those blue and red lines as close together as possible. Because from 10 feet on a perfectly flat and straight putt, if you're more than 1 degree outside of the center of the hole, you didn't even touch that cup. So we want to get that face moving in the right direction for you. And then we do get some cool readings on things like launch direction, where you're starting out, which will pretty quickly point out whether you have more of a right or left miss tendency. And that really plays into what putter setup is going to be right for you. And then we'll check out things like attack angle and skid distance as well, trying to get that roll percent as high as we can for you.
All right, Dan, so I have my gamer putter right now. We're gonna make a couple rolls, just kind of get a baseline, right?
Sounds good, let's do it.
And I do apologize, I just broke my microphone. So the audio's a little weird, I do apologize. I'm gonna do my best to clean it up for you guys, but let's get this thing rolling.
Let's roll some.
All right, so there's a little black dot here, and we're using the TrackMan here. Right, gonna put it on that black dot, and we're gonna roll it at the hole just normally straight. All right, Dan, let's take a look at the numbers here.
All right, Hayden. So here's what we got going for you, my friend. So taking a look at those videos, kind of like I was showing you on my putts for setting the TrackMan, you swing out to the right a little bit. So when you mentioned that you might see a little bit more of a right hand miss on the course, makes sense. That blue line indicates that path is into out. Red line here is always going to be the more important of the two. So that's your face angle at impact, and you actually square it pretty nicely. That's why you made the putt. So when we look at these visuals, we definitely want to focus on that red line. You can see the same thing here. So we didn't swing as far out to the right, but we had the face square again. So you made the putt. Looking at some of the numbers here, you can see that club path. We got average in the bottom corner here. So we're about 3 degrees into out. So you're going to have that tendency to push it every once in a while when you get the face in line with your path rather than closed. So let's dive in on some of the PXG putters and see if we can clean up that face and path a little bit.
All right, sir, sounds good.
Here I can actually grab the specific head that I want, the specific grip that I want, build it to any length. And then I'm going to start you out in our plumber's neck shaft because you do have a little bit of that inward arc in the takeaway. So you probably still need some toe hang, especially considering you are good at closing the club face, my friend. And we're going to start with one of those mallets you picked out here with the one and done head. All right, my friend, and we're not going to tighten that grip all the way on just yet, and you'll see why in just a second.
Okay.
I'll start you out with a little length test here for the putter face.
Okay.
Do that loose, because I'm actually going to let you custom pick the length that feels best to you.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, my friend, is I'm going to kind of crouch there and hold that head still behind the ball and address for you so that you can play around with that posture, move the grip freely. I'll set it nice and straight when we go to tighten it in place. So right now, just focus on length.
Okay. Feels pretty good right there.
All right, let's see what he picks. So you set it up at 32 and a half. You're already in a short putter at 33. We actually went ahead shorter here.
Okay.
Not surprising, a lot of people end up leaving in something shorter than they've ever had before. So we're gonna find out momentarily if this is good for you. Now, Hayden, one question. When you're on the course, do you like to use a line on the ball to line up your
I do,
putts?
yes.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and do that for me. We're gonna simulate the course conditions.
Okay.
So first of all, let's talk about the length a little bit. So I let you pick the length. We know you went a little bit shorter. So what I'm going to have you do to show you whether it's in a good or bad spot is let's go ahead and address one more putt for me. And what I'm going to do is I want you to get in that address, and as soon as you feel like you're at that point, you're just about to take the club back, freeze there and let me know.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. So I'm going to drop the ball from next to your eyes here so we can see where your eyes are lined up relative to that ball on the ground. Okay. So we got you right about here, my friends. Now, if we're looking at that head on the ground, I definitely don't want your eyes past that golf ball. I would say between the line on the putter or the ball that you're putting, and maybe about one ball inside the heel is going to be the best range for you to be in. Okay. So between that and the fact that the toe of the club is actually up in the air a little bit, I'm going to go another half inch shorter and see how you do on it. Now, we want to keep in mind that Spine angle, really important to me. I want you to be wherever you feel most comfortable. So when I shorten this club, you're not going to hunch more to try to get your eyes more over the ball. And take that same posture, but actually stand another half inch to an inch closer to the golf ball.
Got it. Okay, we're gonna do it.
Go ahead and freeze. Let me know when you're there. We'll drop that ball again and see if your eyes are in a better spot.
Where?
Okay.
Set it on.
One more time. Alright, so eyes are right here. Essentially over that golf ball, maybe over the inner third of the golf ball. It's a great spot to be. Actually, your current gamer, you can see that blue line going out to the right, so you got that swing direction going a little bit right. Pretty good at squaring the face though. Some of these last couple strokes after we made that shorter. So here's the one and done. You can see those red and blue lines right on top of each other, because on your takeaway, you're a little more straight back. Now, I don't have any preference as a fitter between a straight back, straight through stroke or a slight arc in the stroke, but we want to make sure that if right is your miss, we're not throwing our hands into out down that line, right? Because we're not trying to hit a draw with a putter, we're trying to hit a straight ball. So now we got that really good face to path relationship, and you're going to see that here with only half a degree difference. Club path now is only 0.4 degrees. You were averaging about 2 to 3 degrees on the original putter. Got that down to 0.4 on the in to out path. Face angle at impact almost 0, so pretty square to the cup. And the difference between the two on those last couple strokes, averaging only 0.2 degrees.
All right, so we've kept that same length, but we have changed putter heads. What do we have here?
So this is now the Battle Ready 2 Bat Attack. Definitely one of our popular mallet models here. So a lot of times the human eye, you might have a little bit of a preference when you look up there on the wall, but you can't fool yourself when you go to hit putts. We're going to see that you tend to square one of these up better than the other. So let's try it out.
Cool.
Be careful not to crowd that ball too much. Between the Bat Attack and the one and done here, one thing I look at that's really important that TrackMan can't tell me, unfortunately, is at address, which one are you better at pointing at the target? Now, watching you putt from behind the hole there, when you lined up this Bat Attack, you're lining it up right at your target, my friend, and you had a little bit of a tendency with that one and done to line it up maybe towards the right edge of the cup or one golf ball outside. And as a guy who already swings out that direction, we want to be careful of that, right? Because if anything, you want something that you line up at the target or maybe slightly left. In this one, you were much better at just instinctively getting behind the ball, pointing it right at the hole. And a lot of times that just comes down to the shape and the alignment and styles on here. So,
Okay, we have my kid's putter here. We're back into the Bat Attack though, right?
yeah, a little short for my taste, but it looks great for you. So we were talking a little bit on the side about grip. You said it's feeling comfortable, so not going to make any changes for you there. I think we got you dialed in on length and hosel and head. We're definitely seeing that with the Bat Attack, not only do you address it most on target, but actually your face-to-path relationship on the numbers is the most solid as well. So we're looking at what I would consider kind of that last detail, which is weighting.
Okay.
So what I did here is I added just a couple grams to the head. Want to see if that 1 out of 10 miss that you've had today where you knew instantly you took a bad stroke, if we can kind of steady the path there a little bit. And then also in terms of pace, you've been doing pretty well on consistency, but could afford maybe another 6 inches on that pace. So let's see how we do. Love that.
Killed it. Still feel good though.
On the other 3, it's actually the most consistent I've seen your tempo. And then going back to that Sharpie example, if you were drawing a line on the ground, even the one where you were fast, your line there would have been right on top of itself, all 4 putts. and you're actually getting an even better top over bottom roll here than you have been throughout the day.